Is this new Sportage better than a RAV4? We're going to find that out in today's video. I'll include a link to the Doug Smith Kia in Linden's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Sportage. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 24 around town, 30 on the highway, with power outputs being 187 horsepower and then 178 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. This is finished in their flat gray, which is a really cool color contrast, the blacked out Kia logo well. We've got a completely new headlight design, which looks kind of similar to the new Sorento and the new Telluride. Completely blacked out grille with this particular one. And then the bottom section is also blacked out on this one, which gives the Sportage a very distinctive appearance. Our tire wheel setup is 235 by 55 by 19. You can see very chunky spokes, and again, also blacked out. There's a theme going on here. Got these blacked out fender flares. You can see more of that trim along the side. And look at that, the mirror caps and also the window trim are also blacked out. The overall side profile looks pretty similar to the previous version of the Sportage, although you can see the new headlights pop out quite a bit there on the side. This now leads us to the key fob, where we've got the Kia logo there on either side, and it actually lights up when you unlock it and lock it, which is kind of cool. But anyways, we've got our lock and unlock function, the opening for the hatch, remote start as well. This right here is where you get this size of crossover. There's tons of storage space in the rear. We also have these pull tabs so you can throw down these seats for more storage. And although that is not perfectly flat, it is flat enough to work out quite well with the seat folded down. Now, they've updated the taillights as well. They don't look too different compared to the previous taillights. And then we've got more blacked out badging on the rear and then parking sensors as well. Let's pop inside. Now the door panel is soft touch up above and then down below on the armrest, a little bit of storage at the bottom. The design of these seats is really nice. I love the cross stitching there in the center. Legroom back here solid. We also have a little storage pocket in the rear. We've got vents here in the center and a little bit of storage below the vents, and then there's actually USB ports on the sides of the seats. And headroom back here is actually really good. Now we do have keyless entry for the front. We've got more soft touch up top and then down below on the armrest. Normal window controls, power mirror adjustments, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Pretty nice trim here on the front seat. Again, you got that same cross-stitching design. Power adjustments on the side with lumbar support. On the left side of the steering wheel, you've got your parking brake, stability control, and the button to open and close the hatch. Boom! We've got the fancy new 2-spoke steering wheel design with the offset Kia logo. Now on the right hand side, you've got controls like your volume controls, voice command controls, and you notice that new terrain mode button. On the left side, you've got your adaptive cruise control, that's for the center screen, and then you have your drive mode select button. And they do still give you just normal stocks here on the back. Now both the terrain mode, the drive mode will pop up here in the center, so the terrain mode is basically snow, sand, and mud. Whereas the drive mode, on the other hand, is normal, sports, and then my drive. And then as for the rest of the cluster here, it's fully digital. You can scroll through these different menus to display different information depending on what you want to see. But, you know, it has the basic stuff like your RPMs, your speed, how much fuel you have. Backup camera in reverse and good resolution with the system. And as for the rest of the infotainment system, very quick response time with the screen. And just like other modern Kias, it's all one unit combined. Now this has the multifunction controls. Right now, it's set to adjust the climate. And then I press that, and now it's set to adjust the radio. Little charging area with a wireless phone charging pad. This one does come equipped with heated seats, and then behind that we've got our cool over-engineered cup holder setup, but it's nice to have for storage. Shifter for the 8-speed automatic. It does have a manual shift function built in. We've got physical buttons to turn off the parking sensors, auto stop start, to turn on the camera, your auto hold, and then hill descent control. Nice trim on the center console lid and decent space. There's a 12 volt inside as well. More nice trim all across the dash here, and then we've just got a regular rear view mirror, and this does come equipped with a panoramic sunroof. So this is a 2026 Sportage X-Line all-wheel drive finished in wolf gray. Total MSRP in this unit is $36,580. Let's see how it performs. Kia Sportage 2026. I'm just gonna close the sunroof so that it's not so bright in here. So this is kind of like a heavy, I'd say a heavy refresh, because you know we've got some new interior elements like the steering wheel and stuff like that, but it's basically the same vehicle with all the important stuff, the mechanical stuff and everything. I mean, we'll see if it drives any different. Steering wheel feels way different because of the, it's kind of got like a flat bottom type design. So it definitely feels a little bit different. Now, being unibody and having independent suspension, it handles pretty darn well. Yeah, going over the bumps and everything, it's nice, it's comfortable. It's easy to drive too because of that setup. I think that's another big benefit. Yeah, this steering wheel is kind of strange. I'm not sure why so many automakers are going for squared off steering wheels. Like, why are we reinventing the wheel, literally? It's kind of weird. I thought that, you know, just a normal circle worked just fine. But what do I know? What do I know? Yeah, this is smooth. Unleash the 2.5. It's adequate. It's not crazy fast or anything like that, but again, you got to look at the segment this competes in. Everything is right around, you know, 180 to 200 horsepower roughly. So this is right where it needs to be. What I will say though is, you know, maybe they should bump up the power a little bit so that they can say that they're better than the RAV4, because the RAV4 is like 203 horsepower. So they bumped this up to like 205. Most powerful. Better than the RAV4, right? But it is smooth, and the benefit of this, just like the RAV4 actually, this has an 8-speed automatic, not a CVT. So much smoother driving experience, better power delivery overall. Doesn't have the annoying whirring feel that you get with the CVT where it's like, right? We've got gears, so it just performs better. It is a really nice ride. I will say that it is a very nice ride. And you know, the low end actually isn't that bad. It's got a little bit of grunt, and again, I think the torque converter really helps out with that. That really helps out. So, summing things up, or yeah, getting us summing things up here with this new Sportage. I think it looks great on the outside. You know, Sportage has always looked a little bit funkier. Like if you want kind of more of a normal style, I guess we could say, you know, you go for Telluride or something like that, or Sorento. Sportage is always going to be the kind of funkier looking one out of the bunch. I mean, let's go look at the previous version. Look at the, you guys can see on the other side, look at the headlight design on that, right? Sportage is always kind of funkier looking, but you know, overall it's pretty good looking. It doesn't really drive too different. So you're not really getting a different drive. They're kind of updating the interior, which, I mean, honestly makes sense in this class of car, because people that are buying this, what you care about the powertrain is it efficient? You know, what's my fuel economy going to be, and can it get out of its own way? And it can get out of its own way. So it does what people need it to do that are looking in this segment. It still drives well, and it's got, you know, a little bit better tech inside, and I like the materials that Kia uses. Like, this feels pretty upscale material wise. Everything, like the buttons, everything just works really well. It's all very nicely integrated, so I think they've done a really good job with this whole interior setup, with mixing tech, right, stuff like this with still having some physical controls and everything, rather than doing like General Motors is completely going away from physical buttons. They're all screen now, for example. So I'm glad that they give us both, so that, I don't know, I think it's a nice blend. I think this is like a perfect blend of mixing the two together, the two worlds that are currently colliding, tech and analog. But let me know your thoughts.